Okay, everyone, welcome back to The Long Dark. Yes, it is video number 4. I'm losing count already. That always happens, doesn't it? Yeah, it's video number 4 in our Long Dark playthrough series. We are here exactly where we left off. We are in the Pleasant Valley farmstead. Basically, I've done a little bit of housekeeping, not a lot. But just putting a few things away and sorting ourselves out. So let's just have a quick look at our state. So current situation, 42% condition, not brilliant. We could do with building that up, but we're not going to really do any massive travelling or anything today. So hopefully we'll have a chance to build all that up. Now I've actually just realised something. We're 4 videos into this. I've only just picked this up. You can't see the clock. You can't see the time because it's behind me. Where the webcam is in the top right hand corner is actually where the time indicator is in the game. So let's just get rid of the webcam for a second so you can see it. And up in the right hand corner there is the time. So you can see it's midday. So we'll bring the webcam back. Hello. So it's midday at the moment. Obviously I'm conscious now that you can't ever see that. So I keep referring to it, you can't see it, so I'm going to have to bear that one in mind. But it's the best place I could put the webcam image, unfortunately. If I put it anywhere else, I'm blocking even more stuff. So that's the best place I could put it, that's why it's up in that corner. But anyway, we are here. We are going to do a little bit of kind of building resources in this video before we try and venture a bit further afield. We've gone to the Red Barn, which isn't very far away. We've gone to the Crossroads houses, which aren't too far away. So we've done all of that. Fairly short journeys. We lost a lot of condition there because of hypothermia. We've had a few encounters with wolves. So we're not quite ready to venture too far afield yet. So what we're going to do instead, we're going to build up a little bit of a stockpile of stuff here. So I'm going to try and build up some firewood here, and I'm going to try now and build a massive stockpile of water here so that we've got some good resources to go a little bit further afield, because the next logical place to go on this particular region is going to be the radio tower, which is right up at the top, and that is a little bit more of a trek. So we need to make sure that we are in a good position. So I'm going to start off by going around the house and seeing what we can turn into firewood. We do have a bit of firewood. We've got some cedar here, and that is about it. I'm carrying a little bit in my inventory, as I always do, but not very much. I've only got a few sticks, so I probably need to be gathering a few more of those as we go around. And I've got a little bit of reclaimed wood. What I'm going to do now then is I'm going to go around the house and we're going to gather up all the firewood we can. So I'm not going to take you through the whole thing, but we'll start off just so you can see what to do. If you've never done this before, or you're new to the game and you aren't sure what you can and can't scrap and turn into firewood, you can't scrap everything, and you probably don't want to scrap everything because some things are useful to keep. But we want to try and gather resources as best we can. An obvious source of reclaimed firewood are these crates. They don't take very long to break down. We've done really well actually with this playthrough because we've got a hatchet and a knife already, although can't use, obviously a knife doesn't work for this, but we've already got a hatchet and a knife, which is pretty good for this early in the playthrough. So let's break down these. Simple as that. Select it, choose breakdown. It's taken us 8 minutes. Obviously you need to watch all these because they will drop all of the various condition indicators down at the bottom. They will drop. We are hungry, which means our condition is going to keep dropping. I've just twigged that, so let's eat a little bit just to stop that from happening. There we go. Obviously next time we sleep our condition will build back up again. That's how it works. So let's go around and see what else we can scrap. These chairs, now they take a bit longer. They're going to take an hour to scrap. We get a little bit more out of them. You're not that hungry, stop complaining. We get a little bit more from them. And obviously this is accelerated time. And you can see these accelerate. We're getting tired as well now. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to carry on. I'm going to go around the rest of the house. And I'm going to gather up all of the reclaimed wood that I can. So anything in the farmstead I can break down. So chairs, crates, boxes. I'm probably going to leave shelves and things like that because I tend to use them for storage. But I'm just going to go around and I'm going to break down all the things I can. Build up some reclaimed firewood so that we can make a good long fire, and that's going to let us cook a load of water. Obviously, though, we are also tired, so I'm probably going to sleep a little bit as well. And we'll join you again very shortly once I've got all that out of the way and we're in a position to start our big cook-off, as I call it, to get some water made up. So that's what we're going to do now. So bear with me. I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I have been around the house. Now, I've only gone around the ground floor. I have slept through the night. So we've actually come through to the following day. I know it looks a bit dark, you can't really tell that, but I have actually gone through to the following day. And I have got a lot of stuff. I've pretty much only done, if I'm honest, this room through here, and you can see how empty it looks. There's still a shelf over there. That's the only thing I haven't done, simply because I've actually now run out of water. So I actually need to start doing this. I need to start making some water. But if you have a look at what I've now got in my inventory, obviously my condition's gone up because I've slept. If I go into the fire starting stuff, I've got 60 bits of reclaimed wood. That's 15 kilos, so I am slightly encumbered. I've got 60 bits of reclaimed wood. I've also gained some tinder plugs, because some of the material that we broke down generated some tinder plugs as well. And, I can't remember where they're going to be, I've got 16 pieces of cloth, because some of those chairs and some of those benches have pillows and cushions on them, and you break down those and get cloth. So I've got loads of cloth, I've got loads of reclaimed wood. So cloth we can use for repairing our clothes, which we'll get to in a bit. But right now we can do with starting some fires. So that shows the value of going around your every building that you're in. Go around, break it down. If it's your base camp, obviously you haven't got to lug it anywhere, you haven't got to carry it anywhere. It's already there. So break it down, make use of it. Don't waste any resources. Take that time, break down everything, get hold of these resources. So here's the stove. Let's get it lit. I've got 3 recycled cans and 2 pots on here, and I'm going to use all of them. So let's see how this works. Now, obviously this is very different to how it used to be in the Long Dark. The production of let's take charcoal before we start. Need that for map making, which we're going to start doing soon. Before the last update, when they changed the cooking mechanics and the way the cooking worked, the way you did this was it was time accelerated. So you literally just selected how much water you wanted, and you did it. Now it's very different, and essentially it means that we can make a lot of water at the same time. A lot more, I think, than we used to be able to make together, because you essentially cook it exactly the same as you would in real life. You put the pots on. That didn't work. Let's do that again. Standard rules apply. We'll try it twice. Third time we use accelerant. So you're cooking it now more like you would in real life. You can put multiple pots of water on and get them all going at once, and they'll all work together. Come on, so instead of just sort of taking an hour to make 5 litres, you can now, in theory, in that hour, make 3 lots of 5 litres if you've got 3 pots. So it's actually quite good. It's far more realistic. But the drawback is, because it's not time accelerated, you have to keep an eye on what you're doing. Otherwise, you lose your resources. So it's added a really good element to the game. It's far more realistic, this. So I actually quite like it. But it's the first time I've done this in bulk. So let's keep a sharp eye on what we're doing. So I'm learning this as we go along. Okay, I'm going to chuck these 2 ruined torches in, because they're no use. Don't throw that in, for Christ's sake. We need that. Right, let's add a lot of reclaimed wood. We have enough of it. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Oh, I can't add, that's the maximum amount. So I've got a 12-hour fire. That should do it. So this house is going to be nice and toasty for quite a long time. Let's get rid of all this reclaimed wood that we're carrying around with us. So I'm going to chuck it in a nice pile over here. So stand where I want to drop it. And let's drop. I'm going to drop probably about 25 or 26 of what I'm carrying. Just keep 10. So that'll all go into a big pile. So we've got lots and lots of wood building together. We've got a huge fire. So let's make use of these cooking pots then. So we want to make as much water as we can. Each one only holds 2 litres. Which is fine. Let's get that cooking. That's going to take an hour, but of course we can make another 2 litres. Let's cook that. And over here, we can make another half a litre. And if we had 6 pots, we could make 2 times 6. So 12 litres in one go. Which obviously is a benefit, but we do need to keep an eye on what we're doing. Those ones at the back, because they're smaller quantities, they're going to finish first. These ones are going to take a lot longer. It's a big, big fire. It's going to heat this building up. In theory, it should heat the entire building. It's obviously going quite dark, though, so we're actually going into night time. We've gone through the whole day. We're going into night. We're getting quite tired. But I want to keep working with this fire that I've got. So let's go through and we'll make the first batches of water. So bear with me. Once we're all done with these, we'll haul them off, and then we'll move on to the next lot. Okay, so I've done a silly thing. I'll show you what I've done in a minute, but we have some non-potable water in these 2 pots, so I'm going to pick that up. I did a silly thing. First of all, I found another recycled can in my inventory, which is great, so I'll pop that on there. So I've now got 4 of them. However, I thought I'd be a bit clever, and while these were cooking away, I'd break down another chair and get some more firewood that was behind me just to pass the time. I forgot that that takes an hour in time lapse to do, and these only take 18 minutes to boil and then 18 minutes to or 18 minutes to melt, then 18 minutes to boil. 40 minutes or less than 40 minutes. So they boil dry, and I've lost them all. So I've lost all of the water that was in these recycled cans. Obviously, the cooking pots were fine because they take a lot longer to do. But yeah, that was a silly thing. So that's one thing you've got to bear in mind now with the cooking mechanic is, yes, you can go off and do other things while it's cooking, but don't do anything that's going to time accelerate, because if you do that, you're going to look like an idiot, and that's what I look like right now. So it's really good. I really like this new cooking mechanic. However, I've been caught out, so let's do this again. So when you're cooking now, you have to keep an eye on it. If you're going to go off and do something else while it's happening, which is the entire idea of this changing cooking mechanic, that's grand. You can do that, but keep an eye on what your timings are so you don't lose what you're cooking. So let's start again then. So we've got another 2 litres in that one, another 2 litres in that one. I've got half a litre in that one, half a litre in that one, half a litre in that one, and half a litre in that one. Okay, so these are obviously going to take a lot longer. So that's an hour until it melts, and then I think I'm going to say another hour until it boils. We'll find out when we get there. These only take 20 minutes to melt and then 20 minutes again to boil. So it's 40 minutes in total. If I go off and do anything now that time accelerates longer than 40 minutes, I'm going to lose all of this because they boil dry very quickly because they're very small. So, yeah. Obviously, the way it works is you will, just in case, because I haven't really explained this, and just in case you don't know, the way the cooking now works is you put your item in a pot. You have to have a cooking container, so a pot or a recycled can. Yeah, you put it on on the stove.
Water.
Put it on the stove. That is a good point. Actually, we do need to drink, so let's do that. Put it on the stove and start to cook. It will give you a time it'll take to cook. You can't time accelerate that anymore. You just have to wait it out. When it reaches 0, when the time runs out, it doesn't just stop. It doesn't now just go, yeah, it's ready, you can come and pick it up whenever you like. It carries on cooking, and it burns. And as it burns, it loses value. So in the case of water, it boils away. So when you ultimately come to it, you'll obviously pick up less water than you would have done if you picked it up immediately, because it's boiled off. If you're cooking food, it will burn. And when it burns, it loses calorie value. So it's less valuable to you. So, unfortunately, you've now got to keep an eye on it. So if you do go off and do anything else while it's happening, you've got to watch your timings, basically. Right, so while we've been talking then, these have melted, and they're all now non-potable water instead of snow. And you can see now it's boiling. When it boils, it becomes potable water we can drink. So that's when we pick it up. That's when we have to get it off the stove before we start to lose it. Each one of these cans only has half a litre in, so it boils off very quickly. So if we don't grab them straight away, we're going to lose a lot of that water. So let's get these down to the point where we can grab the water. I'll show you that. Also keep an eye on these ones as well. So you can see how the new cooking mechanic works. It's kind of cool. I like it. So this is what we're going to be doing through the whole of the playthrough. We're going to be making use of time. We're going to have these occasional kind of days where we don't go anywhere, and we just make lots and lots of internal resources. However, cabin fever, we've got to bear that in mind as well. That caught me out in my last playthrough. So we can't stay indoors for too long, but ultimately we've still got to get this done. You can hear the boiling sound. They are starting to boil. That sound is a bit of an alert. As long as you're within earshot, you'll hear it, and that tells you it's getting close to being ready. And it's the recycled cans rather than the 2 big pots. Okay, so this one's a minute away. In fact, they're all about a minute away now. We're going to have to grab them in quick succession. There we go, got it. So let's take it. Let's take it. Let's take it. Let's take it. All done. Let's put some more in. So we're making maximum use of our time and available resources. And in theory, they'll start to boil as soon as these start to boil. These will obviously take a lot longer. We can then grab these. We'll then grab those. And then we'll see where we stand. So let's get through all of that, and I'll see you on the other side when we've got all this water done. Okay, so we're just picking up that last pot of water. So we've ended up now with a lot of water. We're well into the night, by the way. If we come in here, I've already put quite a lot of the water that we've made in here, so let's just transfer a bit more of it. We've just picked up 6 litres we were making in each batch there, and we did several batches. I'm going to put 5 litres in there. That's 12.5 litres of water we've got stockpiled, and 3 litres that we're carrying, so we're now pretty well done with water. So never waste an opportunity to make water. Even with the new way of doing it, you've got to be a little bit more careful, but we can go off and do other things. Just while that was finishing off, I did go off and do a little bit of housekeeping with my clothing stuff and just moving things around and putting things in the right places. So we're looking all good with that. So the fire's going to keep on burning. It's got 7 hours left to run on it. We're in the middle of the night. We're quite tired. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to eat a little bit of food. Now, I'm starting to get a little bit worried about my food because I haven't got very much of it. And yeah, I am getting a little bit worried about food. I think very shortly we're going to have to head out and see what we can find food-wise. So I think we're going to end up doing that when we get through to the following morning. So for the moment then, let's we've eaten a little bit. Let's just drink a little bit. We are tired, but let's see. We've made really good progress. We've made a lot of water. I've done a little bit of tidying up. I'm going to sleep on my sleeping bag because I can't be bothered to go upstairs. And let's just do... I'm going to see if it'll let me do 8 hours. Hopefully that'll take me through to the morning. So we might as well just do this. There's no point me skipping through this little bit because it's not going to take very long. And hopefully this will get us through to the morning and we can head on outside, although the weather does not sound very promising when we are through to the morning. So let's pick up our bedroll. Condition is at 100%, so that is all good. We're going to drink to get ourselves up. The fire has gone out, which we would have expected because we slept for 8 hours and the fire only had 7 hours left on it, so the fire has gone out. The weather outside does not sound very favourable though for an expedition. So let's have a look outside and see what it really is doing. I'm mildly concerned that we might end up stuck for a bit.
Oh, I could eat anything right now.
Yes, that does not look very very favourable. Okay, so we may have to find some ways of occupying ourselves for a little bit until we can get back outside. Let's just check the temperature inside the building. It should be above freezing. Yes, it is. So I'm going to do a little bit of crafting and clothing repair just so that you can see how that's done. Obviously, we've got all of our clothing here. If we come into the backpack, we can see that some of our clothing is not in the best of shape. So we want to sort that out. So we've got some jeans and we're going to do a repair on them. So it's as simple as doing that. Oh, I need the cloth. The cloth is stored in the cupboard. Do you know what? The wind's died down. Let's just stick our head outside the door and see what it's doing. Because if it's doing okay, I'll do all that off camera. It's actually looking a bit nicer now. Okay. So let's just take stock of what we have then. So we are carrying only what we need to carry. I know we're carrying a fair bit of firewood, but I'm quite happy with that. We've got a recycled can, which we need, our hatchet, our knife, a little bit more lantern fuel, which weighs next to it, so I'm not too worried about that. Food and water, clothing we're obviously wearing, medical supplies, fire starting equipment. So I'm carrying a lot of matches, but I can't bother to go back in and get rid of them now. So let's head outside then. I'm going to do a little bit of a trip. I'm going to head to the radio tower. I think that's what I'm going to do next. So, stick our head outside the door. What kind of temperature are we looking at? -31! Blimey. That's rather chilly. Well, we can't hang about too long here. Ooh. Whoops. Oh well. Needed to do that, so we've inadvertently achieved that. That was a bit of an error. Didn't mean to do that. We'll head out this way a little bit and we'll do a little bit more mapping from over here. Yes, we'll just do that mapping again. Ooh.
Jesus, it's cold.
Ooh, we've lost that temperature very quickly. I think we're going to have to... We're not going to go a long distance here, I don't think. Let's just bring up the charcoal again for the backpack. We're sopping wet already. Blimey, okay. This isn't going well then. So let's just do a bit of surveying then. We'll have a quick look around the cars and things that are here. I'm not going to go very far in this case because I just don't think we're going to survive it if we do. We've lost all the temperature already. Ooh, that was worth doing. Anything else in here? There's a bit of newsprint in the back.
Yep.
Oh,
Definitely use this.
Okay, well, we're getting a little bit of food from here, so not completely wasted journey. Oh, can't get in there. Need a pry bar. That's one thing I haven't got at the minute. We'll have the newsprint, because that'll let us make some more tinder plugs. Any more vehicles around here? It's still quite early in the morning. I'm hoping it will get warmer. There's a wolf wandering about over there. I'm not too bothered about that. It's a fair distance away. That's the only car within shouting distance. Okay. Well, I don't think we're going to have a huge amount to do then. Let's just have a quick look in here, because sometimes you do find things in here. Again, we're just gathering resources. Any resources we can find. We're in a wilderness survival situation. We're going to gather whatever resources we've got. Okay, we are at hypothermia risk and it's going up very, very quickly. So I think I'm going to go back inside. And we'll get ourselves warmed back up again. Before we think about going anywhere else. I think I am now going to do that clothing repair that I just put off. Whoops. So let's jump inside. I always close the door behind me. I don't think I need to, but I always do. Okay, so now let's do that clothing repair. We were going to do some clothing repair before we went. This is what I tend to do. This is how I play the game. I'll have one good set of clothing that suits my playstyle, which is slow and steady. So I always have really thick, heavy clothing on. So it does slow me down, but it keeps me warm, and that means I can trudge long distances without getting hypothermia. Obviously, I'm not there yet. I have got what I've got, which is not brilliant. And you can also see that everything has got a little bit wet from being outside in all that snow. So that's something else to bear in mind. That's happened very, very quickly. But I like to keep my clothing in good condition, so I will keep repairing it. And you can see here the condition of some of this is quite low. So let's just go through repair. Oh, yeah, keep forgetting. I've stored the materials, they're all in here. So if I just copy back, well, we'll copy back 15 of those. And I'm also going to take this leather simply because I think I'm going to need it for my shoes. So let's start off with the scarf, because it's going to be a nice easy one. So there's actions, repair, simple as that. New sewing kit, didn't work. That's funny. Let's do that again. It will fail again. It's a percentage thing. Anything in the long dark, there's a percentage chance that it's not going to work. So what's that done to us? 85% condition. Well, that's pretty good. If we do another repair, that will take it to 100%. Is it worth it? Probably not, in all honesty. 85% is fine. So let's do my trousers. Probably a little bit more critical, because that scarf ultimately is going to go away at some point. I want to get a hat. A better hat. In fact, I think I've got some hats. So I could do with getting one of those. 76. These, I might actually just do another repair on these. It'll take it to 100%. You could argue it's a little bit of wasted resource, but it brings it to 100, and they are an outer layer. They are rather critical, so we'll keep those in good condition. These are 51% for that. That's a little bit low. So I might just do a repair on that. That'll bring it up to, what was it going to say, 40%, so 90%. So that'll definitely help. So we've got that 16. So it's all looking okay. It's all over 50%. Let's have a look at these shoes. We need a piece of leather for this. Let's do this. This is more likely to fail. Ah, but it didn't, so we're all good. So that's got us up to 54%. So we might as well, because these take a fair bit of load. They wear out fairly quickly. Let's do another one, because that should get us up to 79%. That's a lot better. We had 2 bits of leather, we just used them both. So now our clothing is in a lot better condition. And that does affect your wind chill factor and your temperature factor. So if we go back over to the first screen, you can see your air temperature, your wind chill, and your feels like temperature. The feels like temperature takes into account your clothing. Each item of clothing has a plus factor on your temperature, how much warmth it gives you, and that affects the feels like temperature. But as items of clothing degrade, as their condition drops, the benefit they give you also drops. So that's why it's worth keeping them in good condition, because then it gives you more warmth bonus, which will ultimately help keep you warm when you go outside. Less chance of hypothermia, and if you do get it, it'll take longer for it to hit you properly. So you want to keep them in good condition, and that's what we're going to do. So at the moment, we've not got an ideal set of clothing, but I'm working with what I've got until I find something better or can craft something better. Because one thing I can't do at the moment is hunt, because I have no rifle and I have no bows and arrows. So I'm a little bit stuck at the minute for hunting. I can't really do it. but hopefully we can get some deer hides and things in fairly soon, start crafting, and then we can start getting ourselves properly done for this playthrough. Then we can really start to explore. But right now we're still getting going. We're only 4 videos into this series. We've not been going for very long, so we are still getting ourselves sorted. So what have we achieved in this video? Well, quite a bit actually. We've got a whole load of water made up. We've repaired our clothing. Obviously, I would have set off for the radio tower if it had been a little bit warmer, and that's probably where we'll pick up in the next video. But we've done quite a bit, so I'm quite happy. We're trudging slowly. Obviously, nothing dramatic happening yet. We're not venturing too far afield. We're getting ourselves going, and we're playing this for the long game. So we really want to make sure that we get ourselves on a good footing, start building ourselves a good base. We're 6 days in, as it stands at the moment. We'll just do some quick notes. So this is video 4. Water, more water. That's mainly what we've done today. Clothing, repair, and that is pretty much all we have done. But it is one of those necessities in the long dark. We're playing this for the long game. We need to make sure we've got loads of good resources. We're stockpiling so that we can survive for a long period of time and ultimately start venturing a bit further afield. That's what we're going to start doing a bit later in the series. But right now, thank you as always for joining me in the long dark. I really hope you enjoy the videos, and I really hope you enjoy the way I play the game. I know it's a little bit different to how some people play it. Some people play it very fast paced, some people play it very nomadically. I like to play it sort of reasonably slow paced, bit of excuse me, a bit of exploration, and of course nice base, get everything in there, build your resources, work from there. That's how I play the game. But as always, thank you so much for joining me. Remember to hit that like and subscribe buttons and the bell notification icon as well. And check out the other videos, which hopefully will be over there somewhere or over there, because I never remember which way around this video goes on there for the webcam. I think they're over that side. To check out some more videos in this series. And yeah, I will see you again, as always, very, very soon.